Hello, and hello again, filter-free America listeners. We're back. We made it. We're back together. We were lost in the world, wandering around, and then we discovered each other via the world of podcasting. And here we are. We're together. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I hope you're healthy, happy. I hope you're well fed. I hope you're well taken care of. I hope you're loved. I'm glad you're all those things, because I'm all those things right now. And yeah, it's just good to have all those things in your life. So yeah, welcome to the show, guys. Interesting episode today. Episode. Let me tell you about that real fast. This one, dang. Well, if you push play, you've had to have read the description, so you already know what this is about. So for me to say that there needs to be a trigger warning right here would be superfluous at this point, right? Unless you just accidentally press play and didn't see it. Okay, yeah. If you didn't read the description of this episode, you're just like playing like podcast roulette, and you're just like pushing buttons and such. This one here, I'm going to give you a little bit of trigger warning. Okay. And yeah, I know it's Filter Free America, and that name should apply at least to the average thinker that these are filterless conversations. You never know what you're going to get, and that's what it is. But this one here, I'm going to go ahead and go the extra mile. The guest I'm going to talk to today is our second lady guest. Second, is that right? Let's see. We had. Yeah, that's right. This is our second lady guest, and not by choice. I mean, I've been trying to solicit female guests, not solicit. That's probably was a wrong choice of words. I've been trying to get more female guests on, just by timing or just whatever. Hasn't been able to be to get as many as I have male guests. So that's not the I'm not trying to not get female guests. I definitely want some. So. Yeah, if you're a female and you want to tell a story, definitely contact me. But anyway, second guess. Anyway, trigger warning. She came in and she's going to tell me about how both she and her sister, who were both adopted from a foreign country, South Korea. And you're thinking, oh, great, an adopted story. That's going to be super interesting. I'm not done describing it. Yes, they're both South Korean girls. Women now, of course. And they were both adopted by an American family. But what she's going to tell us about is about how her adopted father molested them. Let that settle for a little bit. Yeah. So she and her sister were both, to one degree or another, molested by their adopted father. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's uncomfortable to think about that a individual would need to import a child under the auspice of, hey, we're going to provide you a safe, happy, and secure home. We would like to have a child of our own. We can't have children for whatever reason. And, we just want to take care of you. And then I'm sure that they were very happy, once adopted. And they probably felt, in love with their new parents and felt comfortable with their new parents. And then to get molested by one of those parents, it's pretty horrific. I mean, molesting a kid in any relationship would be bad, but this one here just seems a little, I don't know, seems a little bit egregious. Like, you're taking a child from another country that may not have the best standard of living, may not have the best whatever, and you bring them over here just to do something horrific to them. Not that that's a new thing, We don't really talk about it in the episode, but, I've known other girls, women from Korea, South Korea specifically, dated other South Korean women. And it seems to me that this is not an uncommon story. Specifically, them getting adopted, and then a member of their adopted family, be it, most of the time I hear it's the father, but sometimes the brother, like they have a brother that's not adopted, and they bring him to the household and he starts doing things to him. But a lot of times I hear it's the father too. So I spoke with the guest about that. I was like, I wonder if that's like a thing, like if child molesters, if that's one of their strategies, it was like talking to their wife and like, hey, we should adopt a kid, and like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we should adopt a kid. And it's really just some kind of twisted plan for him just to, get a young child in to molest. I don't know if somebody knows some statistics on that, or maybe a bigger story attached to that, feel free to send me a link to it or send me an email. Or if your story relates to the story you're about to hear and you want to talk about it, even just send me an email about it. I'm just interested at this point here. Send that to filterfreeamerica at gmail.com. Filterfreeamerica, America misspelled with a K, at gmail.com. So anyway, yeah. So she's going to come in and she sits down. She tells me this story. Her name is Nikki. Now there's going to be a surprise twist to this as well, too. I don't want to tell you up front, and I'm pretty sure you're going to figure it out. Some of you who know me or have been following me for any amount of time and may have already figured it out. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm just going to let it go, and when we get to the end of the episode and I do the little outro that I do, I will reveal the surprise of this episode. See if you figured it out. But if you pay attention to this episode and you listen all the way through and you're astute, you should definitely be able to figure it out. But if not, I will tell you at the end. So yeah, that's it. Nikki's going to come in. She's going to tell us about getting molested by her adopted father. So that's that. We'll need a name for this episode. Let me think about that for a second. Let's do the business stuff real fast. I got some additional business stuff today too, so let's knock that out first, and we'll get back to the name of the episode. Let's talk about our sponsor real fast. Our sponsor, as you good listeners know, our regular listeners of course know, is the fine folks over there at simplewebsite.us. 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 Simplewebsite.us is the place that you go when you want to build a Squarespace website, but you would like a little bit of assistance, a medium amount of assistance, or a whole lot of assistance, because they can do all of that, right? That's what they do, right? Their business model is to provide help and tools to help you use Squarespace, right? So if you're want to build a Squarespace website, you're not super proficient at it, and you just need a little bit of coaching along the way, go to Squares or go to Simple Webs. Say the name of the sponsor, Joey. Simplewebsite.us. Just go there, right? Because they offer free resources. They'll give you some tips. There's some video courses, the whole 9 yards, right? If that's not enough, you can up it up a little bit. You can start spending a little bit of money with them, and they'll get more involved, right? They'll get there with you one-on-one. You're on your computer. They're on their computer somewhere, and their magic simple website land, wherever that is. I assume it's like some big, huge laboratory floating in a cloud somewhere high, maybe in the Rockies. I don't know why I suggested that, but just somewhere floating around in the sky, because it's, they're brilliant like that. So that's probably something that they built, but whatever, and then they will just use their screen share technology to work with you, to help you build your website, right? It's another option. Yeah. Or you just call them up and you say, hey, look, I'm an idiot. I'm much like the host of Filter Free America. I'm scared of technology. While I use it, I don't know much about it at all. Can you please help me? And of course they will, right? They'll hold your hand and they'll pat you on the head and they'll say, don't worry, idiot, we'll help you. And we'll build this website for you to your specifications. You won't know anything about it. You won't understand how it works, right? You'll, quite honestly, probably think it's magic because you're a goddamn idiot, just like Joey at Filter Free America. Yeah. So, and then they'll build a website for you, right? That's the way it is. Yeah. Or, maybe you're just, a business person. You've got too much time or too many things to do and not enough free time. And you just pay somebody else to do it. That's another thing too. But me, I'm an idiot. So that's why I like people like simplewebsite.us because they do things that are hard for me. And I just throw them a little bit of money. So simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us is the place you need to go for your Squarespace website building needs. All right, let me take a drink of this water real fast. Excuse me. Refreshing. All right, what's the next line of business here? Oh, let me remind you this real fast. Please, right now, this very moment, whatever device you're using to listen to this podcast, okay? Subscribe. Give a rating. Give a review. Subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe, rate, and review. I'm sorry that you have to hear me say this every single episode, and it's probably the most annoying thing that a podcaster or guys who make video, whatever, any kind of subscription-based thing that needs people to subscribe to help them up their views and grow their podcast or their video cast or whatever. This is probably the most annoying thing to both them and to the listener. Truly sorry. But please, just take time to subscribe, rate, and review. And that's going to help me. And just consider it like this. If you enjoy this product, that's your payment, right? I'm not asking for no money. I'm not going to, you listen to half my episode and you give $1 and you can hear the other half of the episode. No, it's free. It's freeness. It's all free. Free 99, right? Just, you give me a simple payment of one subscription and a couple payments of some rates and some reviews, and we're good. Okay? There we go. Next. I think everything else is done except for this. This right here is the big news. Okay. If you are going to be in the Twin Cities area on November 10th, or November 9th. I probably should have said November 9th first, but I'm a little dyslexic. So November 9th or November 10th of the year 2018. That's about 3, 4, 5 weeks away from now, right? There is going to be a comedy show at Sisyphus Brewery. I guess it's called Sisyphus Brewing. But it's a brewery, right? They brew beers there. Also, they make the best kombucha I've ever tasted in my life. I swear. Like, I'm a huge fan of kombucha. I drink it almost daily. I love it to death. And of all the brands, of all the flavors, of everything I've tasted, whatever they're doing at Sisyphus Brewing, the kombucha that they make there is fantastic. So much so that it's very hard to get it, because every time I go there, it's like maybe 1 out of 5 times I go there to get it, they have it in stock because they sell so quickly. And I think they need to make bigger batches of it. That would be my only request. Anyway, back to what I was talking about before I started rambling because I'm an idiot. November 9th and 10th, there's going to be a comedy show there at Sisyphus Brewing. I don't know if you've ever been to this place. A lot of times you hear about comedy shows in like smaller venues, and it's like a bar show, and there's like a stage next to a bar, and it's kind of a comedy show, but it's kind of annoying too, because not everybody's there to see comedy, and there's lots of side noise and other activities going on, and it's distracting. It's hard to focus on the show. It's hard for the comedians to focus on the their act and everything, and it's not the same kind of quality show that you get if you go to a comedy club, right? And that's true, that does happen. But here's the deal. What's going on at Sisyphus Brewing is not at all like that kind of bar show, okay? The owner of this place loves stand-up comedy, okay? And not only is he an expert beer brewer, right? Not only is he as a hardworking individual, a self-made man, right? He's a comedy fan, and he's doing it right. So when you go into his beautiful brewery, located at 712 Ontario Avenue West, Minneapolis, Minnesota, okay? When you go in there, you see a beautiful brewery, nice bar, some games and things like that. But also, there's a separate room dedicated to live performance, right? Separate from the bar, separate from the games, separate from the crowd that wasn't there for comedy. It's a separate room, right? And if you're not a comedian or you're a novice when it comes to stand-up comedy, you probably don't appreciate how important that is to comedy, man. Oh man, I could tell you about some horrific bar shows and some strange bars in the Dakotas or someplace that are just make you want to cut yourself afterwards. But that's not this. This place here is beautiful. I mean, it's not only is it aesthetically beautiful, it's the whole design is perfect for comedy. The ceilings are low. It's holds the laughter in. You sit close together. It's a very intimate setting. The stage is low. You're very close to the audience. You can see the audience. It's very intimate. It's another comedy club. Here's how I compare it. There's another comedy club in town. And it's called Acme Comedy Company. And if you're a comedy fan or a comedian at all, you know Acme Comedy Company. It's literally, I'm saying this, it's got to be top 5 comedy club on the planet, right? It's that good. I mean, everything is there. It's perfect, right? It's the perfect environment for comedy. It's historically, some of the greatest headliners that you can think of have performed there. Just a true historic piece of stand-up comedy. That is Acme Comedy Company. But so much of what they've done to make comedy work in that place, it's done at a smaller scale at this room in Sisyphus Brewery. It feels the same kind of way. It's got that same kind of vibe. It's got that same kind of energy. And I just can't brag on it enough. So if you don't go to the show that I'm about to tell you about on November 9th and 10th, just go there. I mean, every single Thursday night, they have a absolutely free, no cover open mic, and it's hosted by my buddy and comedian Corey Adam. You can go there and check that out. And you go there and you see some fantastic comedians, new comedians, working comedians that have been, nationally touring headliners, working comedians, and like I said, comedians for the very first time. Or maybe you want to try out comedy. Maybe you're like, hey, maybe I could do this, and if that idiot Joey can crack jokes, hell, I could get up there and talk about my dick. Well, yeah, you can, dream big. So yeah, you just go there on a Thursday night, talk to Corey Adams, sign up. There you go. But then on the weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, they have a paid show. And I think all the shows, for the most part, are like $10. And they're great shows. I mean, these are nationally touring headliners that come in there. Whatever. So if you can't make it to the show I'm about to tell you about, just go there, support that. Especially if you're here in the Twin Cities. If you don't know Sisyphus Brewing, okay, number 1, if you like beer, go there. Number 2, if you like kombucha, go there. Number 3, if you like stand-up comedy, go there. Look at that. 3 wonderful things, 1 building. Boom. Okay, now let me tell you about the show. 9th and 10th of November, big show. Big show. Because one of my favorite stand-up comedians, good friend of mine, hilarious individual. I put him before when I did the episode with comedian Stuart Huff. I think in the intro I called him maybe one of the 10 most slept on comedians. Well, this guy is also on that list, and his name is Tom Simmons. Tom Simmons, very funny, nationally touring comedian. His credits, I could go on and on. Showtime credits, Comedy Central, even BET. I say even because he's a white comedian. He crosses over to all audiences. He is brilliantly funny. And when I say not only is he brilliant, as in he's a brilliant joke writer, he's a super smart individual. I've known him for quite a while. He's been nothing but just super nice to me. And he is just a hell of a good human being. Just so much so to to a degree that I don't know. Sometimes I think the world doesn't deserve Tom Simmons. That's, I brag on him constantly because I really want more people to know him and figure him, and then know his comedy because I think the world will be a better place for it. But this is your chance. 9th and 10th of November, he is going to be there headlining. Okay, and he is also going to be recording for an upcoming CD release. Okay. So if you're in the audience and you're laughing at his jokes, it's going to be on the CD. Right? Like that? Yeah. So that's one reason to go. But check this out. Guess who's featuring for him? Guess who is his second act? Or the act coming up right before him? It's me. It's me. Yeah, me, Joey Vincent. So, Tom Simmons headlining 9th and 10th of November. Me featuring 9th and 10th of November. Also recording for an upcoming CD release. And get this. If it's not enough filter-free America for you, one of our most recent guests, Daryl Horner, is the MC that night. You guys remember Daryl, right? It's a very popular episode. A lot of people listen to it. He's going to be the MC that night. All right? So he's going to be there too. Excuse me. I had to cough. So he's going to be there as well. So, November 9th and 10th, Sisyphus Brewing. Okay? 712 Ontario Avenue West, Minneapolis, Minnesota. All right? I don't have the specific show times right now because we're still debating on if there's going to be 2 shows on Friday or 1 show on Friday, I think for sure there's going to be 2 shows on Saturday. So what you just need to do for show times and for tickets, if you want to pre-buy your tickets, you do, because it's not a huge venue. The room only, I think it's like 70 to 80 seats. Again, very intimate, very small, which is why it's kind of perfect for recording CDs in. Excuse me, I'm coughing. I apologize. Yeah, go to their websites. It's sisyphusbrewing.com, and I'm going to spell that out because Sisyphus is kind of hard to spell if you've never seen it before. It's sisyphusbrewing.com. 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 Yeah. So you go to that website, and I'm pretty sure it's up there now as you're hearing this. He got all the information yesterday, so it should be posted up there. Yeah. So details for the show times, everything, and keep checking that. Like I said, we may be adding a show on there. There may end up being 2 shows on Friday versus 1. It just depends on how many tickets we sell, and I guess you guys know how that works. So yeah. You come there, you get to see Tom Simmons headline, you get to see me feature, you get to see Daryl Horner MC. We're going to record that. Your voices are going to be, or your laughter is going to be captured on upcoming CD releases of both Tom Simmons and myself. So it's going to be a really good time. And again, tickets only $10 a piece. That's cheap. We want to keep it cheap. I'm not trying to make money on this. We just want to do, get a good show, get a good crowd. And being able to pay for the people that are coming in to do the recording and all that stuff. This is really a break-even show. We just wanted to, to have a good crowd come out. So it's $10. $10 is $10. Come on out. If you get there, there's some free parking there and stuff. There's affordable. The beers, everything are affordable. It will be a good time. Have a good time. So come on out. I'll be talking about that next couple episodes. So yeah. If you need more information, I'm going to have some event stuff posted on Facebook, and I'll share it on the Filter Free America Facebook page and all that stuff too. But 9th and 10th of November, Sisyphus Brewing, downtown Minneapolis, 712 Ontario Avenue West. And again, that's sisyphusbrewing.com. sisyphusbrewing.com. And again, if you can't make the show, just please go to an open mic, go whatever. All right. We got to get back into this episode. I've already spent 20 minutes in this intro. It's normal, longer than I've been doing recently, but I want to get all that information in there. We need to start the show, but we do need a episode. So an episode title. And okay, we're talking to our friend Nikki. And Nikki is from North Korea. And Nikki was adopted and molested. Okay. What are we going to call this? Holy shit. Let's see. All right, we just got to be kind of just basic with it. All right. This episode is called Adopted from North Korea, Molested in America. with Nikki. Here we go. All right. So start by telling me you were adopted. So tell me about that. Tell me about the adoption, how old you were, where you were adopted from, how old, the whole deal.
When I was adopted when at 5.5 months old from Korea. And
North or south?
South, because you couldn't.
That's a trick question.
Oh, okay.
They don't let you out of the north.
Okay.
If you get out of the north, you usually got holes in you. That's
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was adopted, and when I was about 5 years old or something, 5.5, I had a sister who was adopted, from there too, and she was, at the time, she was 3. Yeah, I was like 5 and she was like 3 or something.
just out of curiosity, were you guys like sisters, or just two different girls adopted from two different families that didn't want you?
Yes, we're not biological. We're not biological sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you call it adopted sisters.
Okay. So you were adopted in your separate families. Okay.
Yep.
Same. Do you guys know if you're like from the same geographical area?
No, we were not.
Okay.
She was from Seoul, Korea, and I was from a place called Chungcheongbuk-do. And I'm probably butchering that name because obviously I'm not.
She got the easy to pronounce city.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a little. It's more of like a region, not necessarily a city, because I guess that's how things are called out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a farming, mountainy kind of area. Not. I mean, Seoul is obviously city.
Right. Yeah. The area you were from was from farming, and
in the mountains.
That's why you like to play Farmville so much.
Oh, okay.
It's you're genetically predisposed.
Well, supposedly that's what my dad was. He was a farmer, so.
Gotcha.
My biological dad.
Okay. So you were adopted, and how does that process work? Does your adopted parents, did they meet you before they adopted you? Did they like get to check you out, make sure that you weren't like a dumb kid or something, or they just like look at a picture and say, okay, yeah, we'll take that one? Do you know how that works?
I'm pretty sure that nowadays that's kind of how it is. They go and I know it is because I know somebody who adopted somebody, and they went down there and they met her and they spent like a week with her, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. But yeah, I'm pretty sure then it. I don't think so, and I don't think it. Well, yeah, definitely don't think so in my case, because I don't think there was the timeline for that to happen. Because you gotta remember, I was 5.5 months old.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I don't know for certain, but I'm thinking that yeah, they just saw a picture of me and they said they wanted a little Korean baby girl. I don't know.
Right. Without giving away too much, as of the rest of the story that we're going to talk about, do you know why your parents adopted? Do you know if it was because they couldn't have kids on their own, or they just wanted to have adopted kids, or do you know anything about that decision-making process at all?
I do believe that it is the whole, having problems having kids thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. And other than that, I don't know.
And I'm asking some of these questions just because I know where the story is going to go, a little bit, and it's maybe be applicable as the story goes. But do you know when the decision was being made, and did they consider adopting, like an American baby or a baby from anywhere else? And specifically, did your father, do you know if your adopted father, how much influence did he have in the decision-making process? Was he, or was this more of your mom's decision? Do you know anything about that?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I get it's. I guess I never thought about it the way you do.
Right.
That's why I've never thought to ask. But yeah, at some point in my life, if that.
It's my super suspect conspiracy mind. I'm always looking for angles, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. So they get you. You and your sister. You guys come home at the same time.
No, because I'm older than her, so that would be physically impossible.
Well, I thought maybe you guys were both both born and both adopted. That's right. You were 5.5, and you were 2 years older than her. So
yes.
yeah, okay. So they got you home, and they're just like, okay, just not enough adopted Asian kids around here. We just need one more. Is that?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
More.
I don't know.
What about cost? Do you know how much it costs? They like.
Oh,
like what are you worth on the baby market?
I think one day, like this is a long time ago though. One day when I was little, I came across some papers and I saw something, but I don't remember. But yeah, I don't remember what I saw, and I have no idea.
You didn't see like a dollar figure or anything like that?
No, I think I did, but
you just don't remember what it was.
But I might have been young enough too, where I was like, didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man, all the things you could import that are valuable. Why would you import kids? I don't know. But I'm glad
because
you're
they're
here.
Cuter.
I don't know.
Little Asian babies are very cute.
Cuter than on like a Ferrari? I don't think so. But eventually she got there too, right?
Yep. I was 5 or 5.5.
Let's jump ahead then. What's the first memory you have of both you and your new adopted sister together living? Do you remember roughly age? First memory time together as a family unit? Do you remember? Can you recall?
Yes, I remember. I remember it like it was yesterday, picking her up from the hospital. Or I mean, not the hospital, the airport.
Okay.
I remember that because do you want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Or this was a special day,
Right.
So my parents let me drink chocolate milk on the way to the airport.
Holy shit.
And I think we drove there in a pickup truck.
Did you for like a glimmer of a second, did it ever cross your mind? Did you think that, wait a minute, what if they're going to exchange me for a better Asian kid? Like, okay,
No.
get back on the plane. We're sending you back.
No. I mean, I was still young enough at that time that I probably wasn't thinking about a whole lot of anything.
Right.
But no, this chocolate milk though, I'm like, I want to save half of it so that when I meet my sister, I can give it to her, whatever. They're like, oh, okay. Well, it wasn't like they saved it for like 4 hours or anything. It was like minutes, whatever. But
here's some half-drink carton of backwash chocolate milk, new sister. Welcome to America.
And on the way home, we picked her up, and then on the way home, she barfs all over the place. Yeah, that's what I remember. And like I said, some of the stuff that I remember, it's almost like it's so vivid that I made it up, But it's like, why the hell would you make that up?
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
So that's the first thing you remember.
Yeah, and then pretty much one of the only other things that I remember, like, one of the, I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was saying, because I totally lost that train of thought. So I remember one day my sister was in our, I guess it would be the room right off the kitchen where we ate. Like, it wasn't really a dining room, but that when the dining room had big sliding glass door, and it must have been summer at the time because the screen door. How do you explain this? The sliding door part was open where, the screen was there letting the fresh air in.
Right.
Okay. And there was a cat on the other side of that screen, but my sister must have not realized it was on, the other side and couldn't come to her or whatever.
Right.
And she didn't like cats for whatever reason. And she started screaming like bloody murder screams. And the only word we ever heard her speak in Korean was the word for cat.
Do you know what it is?
Well, I mean, this is me remembering it from when I was freaking 5 years old. So I don't
Right.
know if I'm saying it right, getting it right,
Right.
Whatever. But I remember her going, "Gwangi, Gwangi," and just but like blood, like I said, blood curdling, and this cat, was on the outside, starts climbing up the screen, and she's just like freaking out, like it's gonna get her,
Wow.
It was because they have the little claws and they can
Right.
do that and whatever,
Yeah.
I guess. Anyway.
Okay. That story went way differently than I thought. I thought you were going to tell me that she had like some kind of Korean flashback and was going to eat the cat or something. So I'm glad it didn't go that way.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened after that. I just remember that and her screaming that.
Gotcha. Okay. Before we start getting into the darker stuff, as much as you can remember, again about the family unit, mom, it's your mom, adopted dad, adopted sister, and you, right? That's all in the family.
Yep.
What's normal life like? Do you remember anything? Without giving anything away, farther down in the story, do you remember anything that seemed strange? Behavior specifically about your adopted father? Anything out of the ordinary that would have been a red light in retrospect, or anything now looking back?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I know you were young, so it's hard to to think about it in that way.
Well, that's just it. Maybe there was.
If you were older and you were more astute or something, and you would realize it. All right. So I guess we have to go we're going to jump into the darkness here. And the first bad incident that affected you specifically, and you were 5 years old, right? We figured
I think
4 or 5 or 5 or 6?
No, 5 or 6 maybe. Well, I could have been 4 or 5. I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
And
I just, from my memory, my brain, sometimes sees it like it was yesterday, and I see my little self and I think, oh, she looks like she's,
right.
5 or whatever.
And just so people know, this is recalling this as best as you can remember. This was not, how did you describe this memory to me? This was not one that you immediately remembered, correct?
Oh, yeah. This is something that at some point in my life, I started having like a memory or like a flashback or something of a very specific incident. Well,
was there something that triggered? Did something happen to make that memory come back? Do you know?
No,
Okay.
don't think so. Yeah, and it might have been several incidents all tied into one, but
Okay. All right. So for people listening, it's going to get pretty graphic really quickly from this point on. So prepare yourself for that. So describe to me your memory.
Excuse me. Well, I remember my dad. Okay, so we have to back up a little bit. I was always kind of like a tomboy, type thing. I liked action figures. I like cars, and this is where this part ties into. My dad would. There was this table or something in the bedroom or wherever.
Start by setting the scene. Like, where are you guys in a room together?
Yeah.
So the people listening, so they know what's the environment that you're in, that what you're about to describe happened.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm pretty sure it was just me. It must have just been me and him at home. That's what I remember. My memory or whatever. And anyway, there was this table in the bedroom, and he would spray out like shaving cream on it, and have me drive my little cars and trucks through it and say, "Oh, that's kind of cool." It's like, the little car wheels are making like little tracks. Okay. Yeah, tracks in the snow. And then he did that with shaving cream, and then he also did that with Vaseline one day, and spread it on this little tiny table, and he like had me drive my little trucks through it, and he's like,
okay, stop for a second. And again, I'm asking you to recall things that are, again, this is a broken memory for you. So if you don't get it or you don't remember, I completely understand. As you're doing that, driving these little cars through the shaving cream and driving it through the Vaseline, do you remember what he was doing? Do you remember, was he just observing you? Was he doing anything other than just watching you? I mean, I'm just trying to get as much detail as you can recall. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. I understand. I'm just trying to.
No, that's why I said this is more like multi-part, because there was that, but I don't remember what you're asking. I don't
That's fair.
remember.
Okay, go ahead and continue.
Where am I continuing at?
Finish the story, what you're telling me.
Oh, like the full, like why I think he was letting me play with that stuff.
Just tell me everything that you remember, and if you want to speculate as to why, you go for it. This is your story.
Okay, well, I mean, the very specific memory that came out of that I believe is the reason why he was having me play with that stuff is because one day he, and I honestly, I don't remember where the conversation, how it happened, but he basically was like, "Oh yeah, you can play with this stuff, with me," and basically what he meant by that was putting it on his penis and me, touching it, rubbing it. I don't know.
I'm assuming the Vaseline was what he was.
No, I think it was both.
Oh, really?
For a long time I didn't.
Be jerked off with shaving cream?
For a long time I didn't.
I never tried that one.
I didn't get it either.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess it is fairly like.
I guess.
Like silky or.
We'll try it after the podcast. We'll see how it works.
Okay.
But you say that like you kind of just assume that that's what he meant. Did he like point to his penis? Did he say, how do you know for sure that's what he implied when he said, you could play with this with me? What did it?
Well, because it was like, it's okay.
Did he have his dick out?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So was his dick out the whole time? And he just like, hey,
I don't remember that. I just remember very specific, like, like things.
Okay.
And like I said, this
Well,
memory
how about this?
did not pop up until way later.
How about this? Had you ever seen him naked or has seen his dick out around you prior to these, him doing this little car driving through shaving cream deal?
No, I don't.
So was this
Well, I mean, I don't remember, but
okay. Was this the first time, this time where you said you can play with this with me and he's got his dick out? Is that the first time you'd ever seen his dick?
I think so.
Okay. And
I mean, I don't really remember the specifics of that. I just remember that's.
I'm going to keep asking questions, but if you don't know it, I completely get it. So he asked you that. Continue from there. What do you remember? How you reacted or how you felt? Or?
No, and I honestly don't remember if I did anything, or if he, made. I that part I don't remember.
It's got to be so bizarre to a kid. Because I know at 5 years old I didn't have a concept one about sex.
Well, yeah, that's why kids get taken advantage of and shit, because they don't realize what's going on. Here, do this. Oh, okay. Because that at that age, that is your most important person in the world, is your parents. I mean, for the most part. So
what does your memory tell you happened after that? After he said that you could play with that with him and he's standing there. Is he completely naked in your memory?
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember any of that.
Okay.
I don't remember that. I don't really remember looking at him per se. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Then just tell me what else you remember.
That's pretty much all I remember from that memory. I mean, it's very just short, simple memory of just the key point of that, I guess. But yeah, that's all I remember.
All right, so that's basically the first and big and I guess incident between you and your father. And as far as some of the more heinous stuff that happened between you and your sister and your father was your sister the victim more so than you? And what you're going to tell me, and what you've told me already, but what you're getting ready to share here right now was told to you by her, and there's no real verification for it. I'm just trying to, present it, as best way as possible here, because I know we're dealing with like a lot of, broken memory stuff, and it's all makes sense because when you factor in the age and then also the, the subject matter and how that has to affect you in one's memory. So who knows how much of the stuff is, you and her blocking some of the stuff out, either subconsciously or consciously or whatever. We won't know. So it's just, just to the people listening, this is again just, Nikki's memory, either her memory directly or what her sister told her, and that's what she's sharing. So, understand that as you're listening. So tell me now then, and correct me if I'm wrong, you and your sister, you've never really had a lot of, one-on-one discussion about this stuff after the fact.
Nope, just...
Well, I have to do this. Why don't you just, briefly kind of describe, and I don't want you to, throw your sister under the bus or anything like that, but can you just kind of describe you and your sister's current relationship right now? Just so people understand that it's, that where you guys are at as far as communication and things.
Yeah, so we're two totally different people. So she'd be happy with probably never leaving her house. And yeah, everybody that knows me knows that's not me at all. But yeah, she's lived a very unhealthy lifestyle, and yeah, I don't know. She's just completely, entirely different from me, and because of that, we have our times when we get together where we laugh, like, whatever, but yeah, we don't really get together that often, and she doesn't live super far from us. But yeah, we don't have a normal, like a very like healthy relationship where we even see each other that much outside of holidays.
Okay. And in her defense, being that I've been with you as long as I've been with you, before I knew this story, in the detail that I know that you're sharing here today, I kind of had she seems kind of different, or she seems kind of like she doesn't want to deal with so I had kind of a negative point of view a little bit about her, but knowing what you and her went through now, and especially, what you're detailing as far as what happened to her, I kind of get it, so a lot of things that may be thinking like are weird behavior traits on her may be connected to things that she experienced. So I kind of, now I look at all that stuff with a sympathetic eye now, because I'm like, okay, I get it. She's probably dealing with some stuff or that she hasn't dealt with or needs to deal with or whatever.
It's more that she needs to deal with it.
Yeah. So that's could be where a lot of that stuff is rooted in. So to not delay it anymore, why don't you just tell me exactly what she told you the one time that you guys, I guess, exchanged experiences or talked about experiences, or she shared her interaction with your dad?
Yeah, we definitely weren't sharing. She just full out told me, but anyway, what she told me that had happened to her, and this was like way after it happened, but she basically told me that my dad, and he had a neighbor, don't remember the neighbor's name, but anyway, one of his neighbors and then another one of his neighbors, they all got together, 3 of them, plus they invited their friends. And what my sister told me at that very specific time was that they all got together and my dad would make her have sex with each one of them. And,
She give you more detail than that, or was it just...
No, not really, because in the situation that she told me this in, it was just that in basically a rage. Okay.
Was she in a rage before she started saying it, or did her telling the story create the rage? Just, I'm not that it's important. I'm just curious if that was...
Sorry, what did you ask?
Well, you said she was in a rage when she told the story, correct?
No, well, I think it progressed. One thing progressed into another, and she was just venting out her stuff.
Okay, gotcha. To clarify, at this point, when this happened, and other things that happened to you that you're going to tell us about, your mom and dad your adopted mom and dad aren't together anymore, correct?
Right.
Right. They got divorced at right at your what, age 5 or 6, I guess, or separated.
You know, it's weird because I think they must have gotten divorced shortly after my sister like came, because I mean I was 5. I was 5 when they're 5.5 when they adopted her, right? And I think I want to say they got divorced when I was like in between first and second, or in between second and third grade. And I don't think you're that much older than that 5.5 when you're in first or second grade, right? I don't remember.
5th grade's kindergarten usually. Or, I mean, 5 years old for kindergarten. 6 is first grade.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the timeline of when, or I guess I shouldn't say when they got divorced, because I don't actually know when they got divorced, but when they separated.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was in maybe second going into third, or something having to do with that.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I think it was that, because in the third grade I was in Maple Grove. So, yeah.
Okay. And what was going on? You were visiting your dad. This is after the divorce, so you and your sister were visiting him on a regular basis, or how did that work?
Yeah, so he moved out of state, and from here it's probably like 4.5, 5 hour drive. But yeah, my part of the agreement, or part of whatever, was that, school would end and we would spend pretty much the whole entire summer with him there.
Okay.
Like the week after school until the week before school started.
Okay. And that's where what your sister described happened to her. That's where that happened. Yeah. It wasn't like just like your mom was in the other room, or
no,
or your mom was at work or something like that. This is after the separation. Okay. Yeah. So that's important. Let me ask this. Do you know why your mom and dad got a divorce?
No, I mean, no, not necessarily, but they fought a lot. I mean, I remember that, but yeah, my dad, liked to drink and stuff. So yeah, that's probably part of it.
All right. So just some dysfunction there. Did your sister tell you anything else? Or is there any other details about how she was victimized that you haven't told me yet?
That she told me about?
Yeah. Again, not. I don't want you to give the last part away that we're going to talk about, but any other discussions? I just want to give you just a chance to kind of go through your memory again, and just, was there any other conversations that you had with her? Was there any other incidences between either you and her, or you and him, or him and her, or whatever?
No, I mean, I don't remember.
Right. I mean, there's things could have happened, and these are just memories that you just don't have access to right now, or whatever. So.
Well, that's just it. I might have hundreds of memories tucked in there somewhere, and one day I might remember them and just lose my shit. But
so let's, I guess, jump forward then. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, this is for some time. I mean, you were going back and forth, to where your dad was at, and everything was fine for the most part. Was there anything else? I mean, besides the, not that that's not bad enough, the molestation stuff. Was there any other issues that he was having as far as being a parent when you guys were out there? I mean, when you were going to go stay summers with him, was there any other negative things that he was, either the environment he had you guys in, behaviors around you guys, people he had around you guys, anything like that? Anything else that was be like a red light? Or,
well, I mean, he he had been a diabetic since he was like 5 years old or something.
Since 5? Holy shit.
Or since little kid.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's had diabetes, and he didn't really take care of himself for having diabetes. Like, apparently you're not supposed to drink a lot, or maybe at all, I don't know. There's like a lot of weird things with diabetes that you're not supposed to do. But anyway, he liked to drink. He did like to drink, and I mean, he would come home drunk, multiple times. But, you just, I mean, it wasn't like absurd drunk, so you didn't really think much of it. But during the course of the years that we went and saw him in the summer, I did have to call the ambulance on him twice. Because he wouldn't, it's morning, wake up, Dad, you're still sleeping, wake up. And he wouldn't wake up.
Okay.
And, yeah.
And I think I have it right in the timeline. I think this is before the last incident that we're going to talk about. But wasn't there a situation where police came looking for him at your mom's house?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe tell me about that last night when we were going through the notes and everything.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh gosh. And I don't remember how old I said I thought I was, but this was when, okay, so this was before he moved out of state though. This was after they separated.
Okay.
But it must have been before he moved out of state. But yeah, so, and this from what I remember was told to me as an adult.
Okay.
By my mom. And the only reason she told me that is because of something I told her, where it kind of triggered something in her memory. But anyway, so yeah, the police were I guess at the house, and they asked my mom if she knew where he was, because he was apparently wanted, or whatever you want to call it, for trying to take a girl just off the side of the road for whatever. Yeah, I don't know if I kind of tend to call it kidnapping, but anyway.
Hey, I just read, to me, I mean, it sounds like that they probably just wanted to question him.
I don't know. I don't know if they just want to question him, or if they wanted to arrest him. I don't know what
Well, did he ever get arrested?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, like I said, half of that story is just from what I know from what my mom told me.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
She told me, the only reason she told me that story is because I told her about a very specific memory I have about my dad. And it's one of those that freaking sticks out in my head, because I just gotten a new bike, and I biked all the way down to our mailbox, and I saw my dad drive by in his truck, and I waved at him, and he just gave me the blankest stare, like he had no clue as to who I was. And that memory has been like fused in my brain. I told my mom about that, and that's when she told me that story, because my dad at some point in time had told my mom that if anybody comes to the house looking for me, it's because there's this guy who looks exactly like me, and yeah, he's in trouble right now, or something having to do with that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds super suspect.
yeah, so he had his little alter ego thing going or whatever.
Well, when you told me this last night, my first question, because that was new to me. You told me some of the stuff before, but you didn't tell me that part before. And my first question was like, wait a minute, the cops came to your house asking your mom where your dad was because it sounds like he was trying to lure some kid into his vehicle, but your dad moved and then she sent you and your sister to go stay with him. So I was like immediately like, why would you send your daughters to go stay with some dude that may or may not be banging kids? And what did you tell me? How did he, is that?
Well, no. I just think, and not to speak bad about my mom, because my mom and I have a super tight relationship,
Right.
now anyway. But I just don't. I think she believed him. Honestly, I think she believed him that there was somebody who looked exactly like him.
I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean, people. People are often blown away when they find out how dark some people are, and they're right. People that they think they know really well, and then.
Well, right. Nobody knows this about me. I mean, a few people, whatever. But yeah. So
that was enough for her, and.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't, haven't asked her. Probably won't plan on asking her. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't hold it against her type thing. I mean, I guess I would.
No,
get it,
and I'm not.
Somebody told me something bad about you, I would believe you before I would believe somebody else.
And I've never been mad at her, because flashing way forward, she felt really bad that she was sending us there. You know what I mean? Like after she heard about some of the stuff that happened or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I hold no, like, I don't, it's not, she doesn't have to feel bad is basically where I'm going with that.
I gotcha.
Has nothing to do with her.
Well, let's jump now to what was the last incident. Okay. Well, I guess there's actually a couple incidents then. There was as far as your memory go, there's really the first incident that you've already told us about, and then there was one other incident that you distinctly remember happening.
Oh, to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that other one?
In hindsight of what happened to my sister, it really wasn't, like at the time anyway. I didn't think it was a big deal or whatever. But one morning I woke up to him, like I was laying like face down on the bed. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I don't think my sister was there. I don't know, because she wasn't in bed with me unless she was sleeping in the other room. But anyway, I woke up to him like caressing my butt.
Okay.
But like in more of a sexual type way. But yeah, I remember that, but I didn't do anything, about that.
Did you like wake up and say like, "Hey, why are you rubbing on my butt, Dad?"
No, I think I just like kind of like, moved away from where he was, and he did stop from what I remember.
Right.
Like me waking up, made him go away.
Did he have clothes on?
I don't.
Was he masturbating?
I have no idea, and I don't remember because I was trying not to pay attention to anything. I was just trying to get out of that.
Okay. Did that ever happen again or anything similar to that happen? Like you wake up and he's in the room with you? And it just
No, because I think, other than, the last story or whatever, but I think that was the second to the last year that we went out to see him, that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump to the last incident then, and just start telling me. Describe where you and your sister are at, what you guys are doing, and what you observed.
So my dad had a teeny tiny little apartment. It had a bedroom and a tiny little like living area, but that was also combined with the kitchen. I mean, like super small. So my sister and I, we at least that summer at least we slept on this inflatable air mattress out, like literally butted up right next to the entertainment center and then right next to the couch. I mean, that's how small that place was. And so yeah, we were sleeping out there one night, just like normal. And I heard something. And as I was hearing something, I heard it and kind of woke me up. And I saw my dad crawling away from the air mattress, totally butt-ass naked.
No clothes on at all.
Nope. And I remember that little piece in the story like it was freaking yesterday. I mean, that's how vivid it is. And yeah, he was... So on the mattress, I was sleeping on like the inside of it where you couldn't really access it.
Mm-hmm.
There was this tiny little area though, right between the couch and air mattress that you could get in there, where my sister was sleeping.
What were your ages? Did you say that yet?
This is one of those things I struggle with. I don't know exactly, but I want to say it's like 13 maybe, or I think I was 13.
13 to 14 for you, so that would make her 11 to 12.
Something like that, yeah. Okay. But anyway.
Teen and preteen, basically.
Yeah, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, yeah, I saw him, crawl away, and, my sister kind of like flip-flops in bed for a second. And then all of a sudden she kind of grabbed my arm and she goes, Nikki, when I went to bed, I had a tampon in. I don't have my tampon in anymore. And I sent her into the bathroom, said, well, you go look for that right now, whatever. And she came out of the bathroom and she's like, it's not there. And at that point, I'm like, okay.
Did you... This is going to be kind of graphic. Did you notice anything, like, at that time, like, in the bed, like, blood or a condom or lubricant, anything like that? Like, okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Go ahead with the rest.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. And I don't know how, because you gotta remember, I'm 13, whatever. And this was also back when we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have this, that, or the other. So we didn't really, we weren't as exposed to shit back then. But so I have no idea why I thought that, we had to leave at that point. But something clicked into my head, and I'm like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And it was in the middle of summer, so we left with our little pajama, whatever we were wearing, and we didn't even have shoes on. And because my dad had a very, very, very loud, creaky door,
Mm-hmm.
like we can't go out the front door. So somehow we figured out how to go out the window. in the living room area. So we went out the window and excuse me, and we walked up the hill to a neighbor's house, and the neighbors were actually good. They were good friends with my dad, and I guess that's probably why we went there, because we spent time with those people.
So apparently not one of the neighbors that was banging your sister, though. Right?
No. Those were the neighbors who lived in the same place as my dad.
Oh.
And those were all like single dudes. So the house that I'm talking about that we went to, I believe it was a married couple, and they had at least one daughter, and I'm thinking they had two, but I might be remembering that wrong. I remember at least the one who I think was in between me and my sister's age. But anyway, yeah, so we walked up the street in the middle of the night to their house, and I don't remember like knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, but I mean, they answered it and they took us in.
What did you tell them? Do you remember what you told them? Why you were coming to them?
The funny thing is, I don't really remember. I remember walking there. I don't remember talking to them at all, but I know for a fact that I told them what had happened.
Okay.
Because they called, this was like 2 a.m, and they called, my parents here. Yeah, well, I guess we didn't touch on that, but yeah, my mom got remarried and whatever. So when I say my parents, I mean the parents that I still have to this day.
Right.
But anyway, my parents came the 5-hour drive or whatever to pick us up, the next morning, bright and early in the morning.
Were the police called? Did these people call the police after you told them what happened?
No, and that's why I'm like, I don't know exactly what I told them. I mean, I don't know. But and maybe they were, and maybe I just don't remember, but I don't remember ever talking to a police person.
Okay.
About this.
So between the time that your parents are coming up to get you, you're just there at these people's home.
Yeah, and we just slept because it was like in the middle of the night.
Okay. When did your dad discover you were gone?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he did the next morning, right?
I don't know. Did he call? Did your mom call your dad on their way up and like, hey, why am I coming up there to get my daughters? What's going on? Was there any communication between them before she got there? What about when she got there? Was there any? Do you remember them interactions or anything? Or
no, I mean not during. No, I'm pretty sure that. Well, I mean, really, I don't think they'd want to have a conversation with them, right? I don't know.
I think I would. I really would.
I don't
to have
know.
a conversation with him right now. But
I don't know though. I don't think so. But I guess I don't know. That's not something I've thought about.
Okay. Well, what about this? When your mom got there, what did you tell her?
I don't remember what I told her, but they already knew what had happened because the people whose house we went to, they had told them.
Okay.
So I don't know if I had, said anything more to my parents about that. I don't know.
So what did they do when they got there? Did they not call the police, or did they? Well, how was this handled?
I don't remember I remember my mom and Dave. I call him Dave, but because he's my stepdad. But my mom and Dave, remember them talking, with the people we were staying with, in the kitchen at like 7 in the morning or whatever. But I guess I don't know what they were saying, because as kids you don't really listen sometimes to what the adults are talking about. But the next thing I remember is we drove way out of the way too, because we lived to the east of where they did, and we drove way out to the west. Like, it seemed like it took forever. And from what I remember is that it was a social services office that they brought us to.
Okay. And what happened there?
I remember that they said they had to take my sister and I, kids, into separate rooms. They were going to ask us questions. And I believe I told everything that I told you that I remembered. And it was very intimidating, I was a kid, because you had this like video camera literally right staring you back in the face. So I told my part of that, and my sister apparently didn't say anything. Yeah, she didn't say anything. And I remember, I think, I don't remember this from this point in time, but it's when my mom and I would have conversations as an adult about this. And I asked her at one point in time, like, whatever happened with that or whatever. And she basically said, because my sister would not say anything, and even to the point of I think she denied stuff. My parents could have pressed charges against my dad, but it was basically at that point, they were told it was his word against our word. And because we had one girl that wasn't saying anything, that's not looking good. And just the trauma of putting kids on the trial, because it would have been a trial case.
Okay. So you guys just went back home?
Oh yeah, after that, yep, we drove back home.
Still have. This is later in the day now, so now your dad has to know that you're not there. How did that ever come about? There had to be a point where he's like, "Where's my daughter's at?"
I don't. This is just. Do you want my opinion about that?
Just whatever you know, whatever you think.
My opinion about that is he knows exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he probably never tried to contact my mom in fear of that we told her. And that's why we were not there. That's why whatever. But I would imagine at some point in time he tried to call my mom to make sure we were indeed with him, or with her, I mean, but I don't remember. But you would think as a parent, you would wonder where your kids are.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, and it's up to you. I'm going to leave it completely up to you. If you want to talk to your mom and ask her after we've done this podcast, and ask her if she would like to do like a supplemental, maybe not a full episode. Just
I already know the answer.
Give her a point of view.
No.
Really?
No, she wouldn't. No.
Maybe you should at least ask her some of these questions that you don't have answers to, and just to. There's some questions that I would definitely want to know.
There's new stuff though. Every time I talk, there's either stuff
there's also stuff
comes or stuff that leaves.
Yeah, but there's also stuff that she's gonna know that you don't know. that you should?
I don't know, because I think
Well-
she shared,
Well, ask her, like, when did you talk to my dad after this happened? Like, that would be a question I'd want to know. And then when you did talk to him, if you did talk to him, what was the conversation about? Did you say, why the fuck did you molest my daughter? Or what? I would want to know. Just, I don't know, maybe it's my curiosity, but I would, I would want to go kick his ass too. And plus ask a shit ton of fucking questions. And especially if there wasn't going to be any prosecuting, then there was going to be some ass kicking and some question asking. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, I just don't know. And maybe that's... Maybe my mom has blocked that out of her mind. I don't know.
It could be, yeah.
Because she has never... We've been
And I'm not saying this
open.
like I'm mad at her. I'm not saying that either.
No.
I'm just saying that just there's so many questions out there that as either as a victim or as a parent of the victim, or me as what I really am, your boyfriend. I've had these questions. I'm like, why weren't these things asked and answered? And and I guess I kind of get it why the prosecution, there was no attempt at prosecution. I kind of get that, though.
Yeah, I think that would have not been good at all. I mean, my sister's already messed up, but I don't like to think what that would have brought.
Well, you did tell me that after this, right, your dad tried to make contact with you, right? Or multiple times contacted you or tried to.
Well, what I remember is that every birthday and every Christmas, he would send, a card or whatever. And he would do the same thing, though, before any of this happened. Every birthday and every Christmas, send us a card. And, this was back in the day where you sent cash to the mail.
Right.
But he would send us a card with birthday money, Christmas money, whatever. And it wasn't like here's $5. It was like, way more money. But after the incident happened, where we left his house in the middle of the night, when we still got those Christmas cards and those birthday cards, my mom made us write on there, refuse, return to sender. Okay. And eventually he did stop sending them.
After that incident where you guys left the house and crawled out through the window, did you ever have any in person or on the phone conversations with him?
No.
Ever again?
Nope, I don't think so. I think I remember one time where he called and he said, "Oh, hi, Nikki," and I hung up on him right immediately. Other than that was it.
Do you know if your mom had any conversations with him at all?
Nope, I do not know that at all.
That's another question I'd like to know. You also got after you were refusing the cards. And that was the only form of contact he tried to make, right? Besides that one phone call.
That I remember.
Okay. But after you refused them and sent them back, eventually you got another letter, right? From somebody else.
Oh, from my grandma? Yeah,
His mom.
Huh?
His mom.
Yes, his mom lived right next door to him in the same little apartment complex.
Did you read that letter? And if so, what did the letter say? And
I think for some reason, yeah, we did read that letter, or I don't know if we read that letter at that point or my mom told me, what that letter said in my adult life. That I don't remember. I just at some point remember, knowing that basically that letter was from my grandma and she was pretty much giving us shit for quote unquote leaving in the middle of the night and not telling anybody or whatever. I mean, but she was like old and whatever at that point in time.
Did she not know what happened?
No, there's no way based off of what that letter said, because she made us feel like very bad and very guilty and very whatever for leaving in the middle of the night and, not saying goodbye and, just leaving all our stuff there. Yeah, because we left all oh yeah, that's right. We had to leave all our stuff there, and she had to pack our shit up and send it back home to us. Maybe that's when the letter came. Sorry, I just remember that point, but I think that might be when the letter came. Was with the boxes of our shit that she had to pack up and send back.
So clearly he didn't tell. He didn't say, "Oh, sorry, Mom, I was molested my daughters and I had to leave."
Yeah.
So he didn't do that.
No.
So did you guys respond to the letter? Did you guys write back?
No.
Have you ever had contact with any of his family at all since this?
Well, like way outside or farther outside branches of his family, yes.
Okay.
Because I'm friends with, what it would be, she would probably be like my third cousin, maybe.
Okay.
I think it was my dad's cousin, and then his cousin would be my second cousin, and yeah. But their daughter's like close to my age.
Does his family now know what happened to you guys? And what he did?
I think that family might have known, or I guess I don't remember, but I think at least my third cousin, the one that's just like a year younger than me, I think over the course of time I told her, because I think some of that family was like, what the hell? Where are these guys? Why aren't they coming back?
Right.
And I believe I told that family, and maybe that's why they've always been very nice and very send us Christmas, stuff at Christmas and all that and whatever. But yeah, other than that, no, and he does have a sister, or he had a sister. I mean, they would all be really old right now, so I don't know if they are even alive or whatever, and I don't remember their names and all of that shit, but yeah, he had a sister that lived kind of up in that area,
okay,
like an hour or two from him.
What about this? Has there ever been any other victims of his made aware of that that came forward and accused him, or?
Nope. No. Not that I remember hearing or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to everybody listening, it probably thinks, well, this guy's molested these kids and he's just got off kind of scot-free for the most part. That's essentially kind of what happened,
Yeah.
But he's no longer on this earth, or not alive, however you want to say it. And he didn't really leave. His last, year or so here wasn't very comfortable. So what happened to him and how did he die? What can you tell me about that?
Well, so the family that I was just telling you about, how we always kept in contact. So the one girl who's close to me in age, we were like on, because this is way after the fact. So this was like 5 or 6 years ago. She contacted me on Facebook and we were just talking about random stuff, and she just randomly goes, "Oh, your dad died, right?" No, I did not. I did not know he died. And I'm like, "Oh, like what happened to him?" Because honest to God, he should have died like 20 times over at a minimum at that point, But anyway, So she said that he was in the hospital for a while, but she didn't really say a lot at that. But I dug deeper. I'm like, well, oh, I assumed it was something to do with his diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she said no, he went in over a year ago because he broke his leg, and at some point in time he caught some rare blood infection, and he
Good.
basically lived out his miserable last year of his life in the hospital.
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. So, can't
God was
say,
molesting him from the inside.
yeah. Honestly, I can't say I didn't really have any emotion well, I guess the emotion that I had was kind of relief, you know? Does that sound bad?
No.
To have relief when somebody dies.
I
Yeah.
bet there's either consciously or subconsciously, you were maybe having a fear of having to run into him and deal with seeing him again. And now, this is my dime store psychology I'm giving you. But there was probably a release that now you knew, okay, now I don't have to deal with that. Now I never have to worry about running into him and having that conversation.
Yeah, and
I'm just speculating, but
yeah, that was actually kind of a big part about it too, is that there was one time when I was like 13, or no, not 13, I was older. But I thought I saw him somewhere, and like I was in the car and I thought I saw him in a subway, and I literally hid under the glove box.
he was in a Subway restaurant.
He was in a Subway restaurant.
It's
Well, I don't know if
that
somebody
Jared was known for molesting children, and he's frequenting a Subway restaurant.
Well, yeah,
the
okay,
conspiracy
yeah.
unfolds.
No, there is that. No, I'm not making that shit up. But yeah, he was in he was in a Subway restaurant. But yeah, or somebody that looked like him. But I was so afraid that I was a teenager at that point. I was so afraid though at that point where I hid under my friend's dash. It was just her and I. So I guess. Oh yeah, that's right. It was just her and I. So we were 16, at least 16 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I hid under that, and I did not come up from under that until about 15 minutes after.
Was this before or after you knew he was dead?
No, he just died. He just died like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
This
I
is
missed
when
that
I was
part.
16.
Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah.
My fault.
No, so I was 16, and my friend and I were in her car, and I think we were headed up north. But anyway, and when I popped my head out, I don't remember what I told her, but I basically said, if you think there's somebody following you, let me know, because I lived in fear for so long that he figured out why we left, and that he, like my parents knew, and then I thought he would be so pissed off that we told them that he was going to come after me.
So, where are you now with this? Does it bother you? Do you think about it a lot? Do you, well, I mean, just anything? What's your emotion? What's your...
The weird thing about it is, I think because I've talked about it, to different people a couple different times, whatever. I've talked to my mom about it and whatever. I think because I've talked about it and I haven't kept everything in, like, it's made it better for me, and I guess I don't really have, like, I don't think I have much like trauma from it, like it's not like I remember that stuff and seen that stuff or had the, stuff done to me or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want a guy to touch me because of that. It's nothing like that.
Clearly, because we bang all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not enough in your book, though.
No, it's never enough.
But yeah, so I guess I kind of feel I don't want to say lucky because that I feel like that kind of dumbs down the situation. But yeah, I don't anymore anyway.
Right.
And like I said, for a long time, I lived in that fear that he was going to come and like do something to me or kidnap me or something because, whatever. But yeah, as an adult, I don't really think it affects me.
Thank you for telling me the story.
Yep.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Well, that is that episode. And yes, that was a rough one. Probably a rough one for you. Definitely a rough one for me as well. Not only because of the topic, but because of the guest and who she is to me. And I'm sure most of you have figured it out that Nikki is my girlfriend. Yeah. And it's very difficult for me to hear that story. Not the first time I've heard that story. She told me that story before. And it doesn't get any easier to hear it again. Very difficult. I do appreciate her for taking the time to do it. To give me a unique opportunity that most people wouldn't get to just ask somebody questions like that who have been through an experience like that. I mean, I wouldn't ask questions that I asked of her to a stranger if I'd known they had gone through an experience like that. But I think it's just human nature, at least definitely my nature, to be curious. I mean, that's what this whole podcast is about, is me being curious about the experiences of others and things like that. But I had, questions. It's weird. I don't know. But, yeah, it's a dark story. I'm sure there's way worse ones. I've heard way worse ones. But this is, its own unique darkness. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody else, anything worse on anybody else either. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks, man. It really does. I'm just very happy that she seems to have, from all appearances, that she has recovered as well as one could from something like that. And I think that speaks to her strength. And yeah, because I think, as we mentioned in the podcast, her sister probably doesn't deal with it near as well as she does. But again, I think her sister, at least from what I'm being told, I wasn't there, obviously, probably dealt with a little bit worse stuff. I might be putting that a little too lightly. But yeah. All right. So that's the episode. Thank you guys for listening once again. Thank you for supporting our sponsor, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us. Please take time to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on whatever platform you're using to listen to it. Do it on multiple platforms if you'd like. That's very helpful. Don't forget, big comedy show coming up at Sisyphus Brewing, November 9th and 10th. Headlined by my good friend, comedian Tom Simmons. And yes, we'll get him on an episode of the podcast while he's in town. He'll actually be hanging out here at the bunker with me while he's in town. So we'll get him on an episode. So it'll be him. I'll be featuring, and also another former guest, MC Daryl, or MC Daryl Horner. Daryl Horner will be the MC. He's not an MC like a rapper. No, he's a comedian. So yeah, it's going to be a great show. Only $10. Go get tickets now, I think. If not now when you're hearing this, it's going to be within a few hours or tomorrow. sisyphusbrewing.com, 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 November 9th and 10th. And I'm going to be talking about that quite a lot over the next couple episodes because I need to sell these shows out. Because I got to make sure Tom gets his money, man, because Tom's flying in from the Carolinas, and we got to make sure that he doesn't lose money on his trip out here. But definitely come out, support the show by supporting that show, and support that venue. Like I said, if you can't go out those nights, go to some of the other shows, even the free comedy nights with Corey Adam. It's a great place to see comedy. All right. Sorry, I'm a little down at the end of this episode. I'm trying to be chipper at the end. Hey, I'm trying to sell a comedy show, but I'm still got tears running down my face. But whatever. I love you guys. All right. I love Nikki. I love my dogs. I love my snakes. If you've got somebody in your life that you know has gone through something similar to this, give them a hug. I don't know. just tell them that you're thinking about them. Send them a message if you're not close to them. Whatever. Because I don't know. It's a horrible thing. Let's try to have a fun episode next time. Let's try not to have one so dark and depressing. At least for me. Maybe it's just because my personal connection to the story is why I'm feeling extra down here at the end. But whatever. I don't know. I love you guys. Good things are coming. For all of us, just got to keep going, keep smiling, whatever. Trying to convince myself. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym and throw some weights around. That always makes me feel better. But take care, guys. Bye.